already 2:30 and I haven't even eaten yet, right? So I have a lot to do. I'm heading to Toronto tomorrow for the Genesis Championships. So today is a busy, busy day. And honestly, something just popped up that made me want to talk about it. And I was like, I'm not going to have time to make a video about it. I was originally just going to make breakfast and do the things I needed to do. But this stuff was nutty enough that I thought it would be worth getting together and discussing. All right, so give me a second here. I'm gonna get the bacon in the pan because I need some food, and then we're gonna talk about the craziness that's going on with wizards, and all the proxiness, because this is not something we hear about every day, but is an interesting discussion to have. There we go. Slap the bacon in the pan. Bum, 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 bum. All right, hold on. These are some fat pieces. This looks good, man. I wish it was already cooked. I'm hungry. So, ultimately, the discussion we're going to have is going to revolve around the fact that Wizards of the Coast has sent a cease and desist letter to somebody who makes custom magic proxies. And as a result, this guy is being legally compelled. Maybe I'll wait until the water's off. As a result, this guy's being legally compelled to shut down. Wait, what? Every time I name my streams about bacon, they put a bacon commercial before the video? That's smart. So, yeah, basically, hold on. I'm gonna lose the thread of it. Let me get everything ready. So the bacon's on. We'll turn the burner on. I'll fill the kettle, and then I'll restate the situation. And we'll dive into the discussion because it's partially like the world we're living in right now is the Wild West of the internet in some ways. And oh, look at me, I'm like leaning in from the side. What up? Check out all the empty space. It's so wide. All right, so there we go. That's good. Get the kettle going. That's good. We need a plate, paper towels to soak up that bacon fat, and then, all right, perfect. Hello, my friends. I know I normally do the greeting you all by name, but my fingers were bacon fatty and I was already ready to go, so we just dived right in. So, this is a weird angle too, eh? Whoa! All right. That's right, you can't see the bacon. You don't get to see it. You get to see me. Actually, you know what? I'll let you see it. Here you go. There you go. Now you've seen it. So, Wizards of the Coast apparently 2 weeks ago sent out a cease and desist to this particular individual. I don't remember the name of it because I just saw it in passing, right? Like, this isn't something that I really dived into deeply. I just read the tweets, went through the scenario and went, okay, I understand what happened here. And then I ended up getting into a conversation about it with Cinder for a little bit on the, what's it called? About certain aspects of it, right? So I just went, you know what? There's enough that I have to say about this that I'm going to just go ahead and make it the title of the stream because we're in a new era where like copyright and stuff like that is strange. Wizards of the Coast has something called their fan content policy. If you're not somebody who uses anything Wizards of the Coast makes, this policy doesn't matter to you. If you're somebody who just prints out cards for your own personal use, this content policy doesn't matter for you. It's for people who make stuff online, right? So basically the fan content policy says like this: Wizards of the Coast will let you use their properties as long as you observe a few basic rules, where it's like, we'll let you use the stuff that we have, but even with the fan content policy, you're not allowed to use their like logos, you're not allowed to use the mana symbols. So by Wizards of the Coast definition and their fan content policy and everything like that and copyright, every single YouTube channel that you see, every arena channel you see with mana symbols in the thumbnails and stuff like that, that is against the fan content policy, right? That's specifically like, you can't do this. They've outlined it. They have a list of things that you cannot use. And everybody is using them. You will see in pretty much everybody's thumbnails. Magic the Gathering's logo, you're not allowed to do that. You can't take the mana symbols, not allowed to do that. You can take an image of a magic card that you're going to talk about and put it up, and it can have some of those separate elements, but you can't take those separate elements and use them. You're not allowed to. Wizards of the Coast owns them, they have copyright, and they don't give you permission, even with the fan content policy. And the fan content policy goes on further to state, basically, like, we get the right, you put this in your videos, and we get the right to come along and tell you to take your stuff down if we want to. Now, you'll notice I never put their fan content policy in any of my videos. I don't put it in the descriptions. I don't do any of that. And on the historian videos, you'll never see Magic the Gathering's actual logo in the title, their mana symbols. I've got my own logo in the background. I know roughly what is fair use. So what I do falls within the bounds of what is allowed by their policy. What is allowed without even paying attention to their policy. But, for example, Fantasy Geographic is a different beast. Fantasy Geographic is me retelling their stories. And I can do that no problem because I'm not doing a verbatim. Like, you can't do audiobooks of their stuff. That's also against the fan content policy. You can't make a direct copy of the book. That's against the rules. But you can read the book and retell the story in your own words, and there's nothing they can do about that. However, all of their artwork that I've used in those lore videos, Fantasy Geographic, if Wizards wanted to, they could walk up and go, crushed, your channel's gone. You violated our copyright, no problem. Like, it's without question. There's only certain ways you can use it. You can't just go, I can do whatever I want with it. So you can't just take Magic's art and just use it. You're not allowed to do that. It's illegal, right? But Wizards doesn't care. Like, here's the deal. Wizards of the Coast has to protect their copyright stuff, right? Because if they don't, if Wizards of the Coast doesn't take legal action, then it means anybody can use their stuff. Like, I obviously am not super well versed in the law, so what I'm going to say is a very, like, layman's, not technical understanding of it. But basically, that's the scenario that you're dealing with, where people don't realize how this works, and Wizards of the Coast can totally just come along and be like, yeah, you're using our IP. And if they don't, if Wizards just goes, hey, we're just going to let everybody do it, then like the law will go, oh, you haven't been safeguarding and protecting your rights, therefore you've like just basically forfeited your rights. And if Wizards did that, that means anyone and everyone could take all the aspects. Any game could take the mana symbols. Any game could take the tap symbol, all that stuff, right? So you enter into a world where Wizards is forced to defend their intellectual property rigorously, legally. But you're also in a world where it's impossible to defend yourself against everything. Like, you have to show the judge that you're making a good faith effort to protect your property, but you don't have to show that you've stamped out literally every single one in existence, because you can't. They keep popping back up. So what it becomes is a game of focusing on the taking of your property that actually matters. If somebody makes a video talking about Magic using your IP, that's always a win. There's no situation where Wizards of the Coast should actively seek to take down videos, because whether you're talking poorly about a game or positively about a game, you're talking about that game. And if you're talking negatively about it, it still exists. You want improvement. It's supposed, like, there's a number of levels where being acknowledged in that way is far better than being ignored. And you'll notice Wizards doesn't go and get people's videos taken down, even when dealing with the people that Wizards hates the most. Like, for example, when the things went south with MTG headquarters / Unsleeved Media, and Wizards of the Coast basically cut all ties and then banned him from the game in this jumped up witch hunt. They didn't even try and touch his videos because the videos don't affect them financially, guys. It doesn't matter how much I go, Wizards is screwing up and it sucks. It doesn't affect them financially, right? But this is where things start to get different. So now let's move into the realm of talking about proxy cards, all right? So proxy cards, playtest cards, is a very nebulous sort of realm to exist in, because you are violating Wizards of the Coast's wait, there's no T in this one anymore. You are violating Wizards of the Coast's copyright, or like whatever it is. You're violating their intellectual property, right? Like when you create these proxies, you're taking elements that you don't own, you're making these cards, but it's for personal use and nobody cares. If you're making it yourself, nobody cares. It's just like somebody painting Mario on the bedroom wall of their kid's room. Like Nintendo's not going to show up and be like, bro, we're ceased and desisting little Billy's wall. You got to get Mario off that wall. If it's not for commercial gain in any way, then there's not really going to be any problem unless it's just something horrific where it's like you got all these Disney characters just bumping and grinding, and then Disney's going to step up and be like, you can't, no, you're like, this is, you can't do this with, I mean, and they can't even stay on top of all that. But anyhow, so Proxies, Wizards' position on playtest cards are you can use playtest cards, it's fine or whatever, but like you can't use them in official tournaments. And obviously, trying to sell proxies as real Magic cards is just straight up counterfeiting, and that's like that's a crime, right? So, whatever. That one's pretty clear cut too. I'm looking for the sugar here. So you've got a situation where there's a ton of violation of Wizards properties going on, but the only ones they're going to care about are ones that are either so damaging that they need to be removed, which there's nothing. Calling Wizards out on their business practices isn't enough, and Wizards isn't involved in anything else enough to get that level of reaction. So that's a non-starter, right? That one's not going to be a thing. So it's going to boil down to money, right? So when it comes to making proxies, if you're making proxies for yourself, you got no problem. But if you run a website that allows people to make proxies, you're stepping into a new realm because now you're enabling people. You're not the one, like, you're not just the one who's taking this IP. You're the one who's created the road to get to it. Like, oh, you want to steal Wizards' mana symbols, their tap symbol, their game, their borders, all of that? You want to just take that without their... I mean, I'm using steal from the perspective of Wizards. I don't want this to come across like I'm some maniac who's like, I am not anti-proxy or whatever. So just so we're very clear on this, right? But we're talking from like Wizards' legal standpoint. So from Wizards' legal standpoint, people who are creating these websites are creating a portal that allows you to gain access to all of their properties easily, right? It's an enabling tool. And they're not stepping on those unless they meet certain conditions, because proxy services like this are nothing new, where you can go, I'm going to punch it in and print it out. But here's where the problem comes in. The problem comes in with the fact that once you bring money into the equation, everything changes. So this site that got sent the cease and desist decided they were going to create a paywall where they were going to put certain things behind a paywall. And now, instead of being a pathway for people to, for free, take Wizards property that wasn't going to use it and weren't paying customers anyway, right, to them. In Wizards' mind, okay, you're over here just using our IP for your own personal use. Like, it's not being monetized in any way. We're not losing any money. We don't have to protect our financial interests. As soon as you create a paywall using any of Wizards of the Coast properties in any way whatsoever, guess what? You are now directly competing with Wizards of the Coast. You're selling Magic cards. You're selling Magic cards. You can say, oh no, but it's just this tool to do whatever. Like, you can get as semantic wise as you want with it, the same way that Wizards did with 30th anniversary, but you've just become a seller of Magic cards. You are now selling Magic cards in direct competition to Wizards of the Coast because people are going to buy from you instead of Wizards of the Coast, right? It's a very, very easy legal argument to make. Look, they're taking our property and putting it behind a paywall and selling it to people. So coming along and being like, you have to stop, right? Like, it sucks. It sucks for the people who were using the site because I don't know that much about it. I'm not familiar with the site that it happened to, but my understanding is like this. People were using the site for a while. The guy who made it decided to put a paywall on it, and then Wizards cease and desisted him. And he's so young, he's like 20 something, right? So to him, this feels like a massive thing. Like, he built this thing and now it's just gone, right? And he's just like, they've like stripped my life's work from me or whatever. And it's like, on one hand, I get what you're saying, but on the other hand, you legitimately, like, you took what was theirs and are trying to sell it. Like, what are they? So it's the confusion is you can see in the conversation surrounding it, people going, there's tons of violations of Wizards of the Coast IP out there. Yes, but you have to ask the cardinal question. Is your violation of what's going on a direct competitor to what Wizards of the Coast is doing, thus legally compelling them to crush you? You gave them no choice, right? Like, you literally went, I'm going to monetize your property. That's what I'm doing. Like, what is it? Like, Wizards of the Coast is a super greedy corporation. And I am rarely ever on their side going, well, Wizards of the Coast had to do this. They have no choice. They have to keep Magic the Gathering. If you're trying to straight up like sell Magic cards, you are not like, you can't do that. You can't walk into like Burger King and go like, hey, check it out. I'm just going to be over here selling burgers in the corner, bro. It's like, what? Yeah, like you built all these burger customers, and actually I'm going to be using some of your ingredients too, just so you know. Like, I'm legit. I'm just like, that may be not an exactly perfect analogy, but it's pretty close. It's pretty close. You're walking into Burger King, grabbing their buns and whatever, slapping your own patty in the middle and going, this is my burger, bro. And it's like, no, stop. What? You're ruining my life. Well, you built this, bro. If you had a smuggling operation and then you got caught for smuggling and you go, there's a million smugglers, bro, that defense doesn't work. And the whole like the legal system is the problem in this case. It's like, you know, man, you can't sell that. You can't sell other people's IP stuff. There's no argument for it. I don't care. Like, people are angry at Wizards right now, so they'll just use that as a justification. A company that I don't like is a company's doing things I don't like, and they charge too much money for stuff. And so because they charge too much money for stuff, it's totally cool for people to break the law now. Laws shouldn't exist because of my feelings. That's a great way to function in society. And I wholly believe that you should lean into that attitude because it produces the most mature and well-rounded discussions. When you just go, it's fine to break the law because I don't like it. Did you know they made expensive cards? Did you know they broke a promise they were going to make? They shouldn't have any legal protections because what they did is the equivalent of forcing children down into like a diamond mine and dragging diamonds. Oh no, that's right. It's just a card game company. And even when we get really, really mad at them, maybe we need to remember as a collective that we're still adults. Or we can do the baby hour and go on Twitter and act up because everybody on Twitter is just going, Wizards is the worst. Yeah, you know what else is the worst? Having zero critical thinking skills and always being, I'm always against you, even when you're in the right. I mean, have your position. Be mentally lazy if you want. Everybody's got their own way to live, and some people just want to scream at Wizards nonstop, and they want to call me endless fonts of negativity. But I know the difference. I'm willing to actually take a step back and go, okay, who's in the wrong here? Oh, yeah, you're selling Wizards property. Sorry, am I supposed to feel bad for you? Because I don't. Like, it sucks for you that you put your time into something that's illegal, and then we're told what you're doing is illegal. Stop. Right? Like, that sucks for you, but that's how the world works. Like, if you're lucky that you got caught in a crime that isn't going to give you a criminal record and is so minor that everybody on Twitter will come and applaud you. But also, Twitter is a really bad place to get, like, feedback from because a lot of it is terrible feedback. Twitter's the worst. So, yeah, man. You know, it's like, bro, it sucks that the thing you made that everybody likes is getting shut down because a bunch of people use it. But like, you can't. If you're being an adult, you can't be on their side. It's it. It's it, right? Like, you're taking their property. As far as I understand, you got the logo on it. You're stamping your name on it too. You're literally just taking somebody else's product and selling it with minor variations and just going like, huh? Why am I not allowed to do this? Why am I not allowed to do this? Daniel, lying to customers is wrong. You're right. Lying to customers is wrong. And companies getting punished for it by not making sales, public backlash, that all makes perfect sense. But if your defense is people should commit crimes against Wizards of the Coast because a corporation told a lie, no. Society has a whole big structure of rules, and just because your feelings tell you that they lied to you, now this crime is okay? No, you don't get to just go, intellectual property rules don't exist anymore because this company said something to me that wasn't true. If a company says something that isn't true in particular ways, that's a crime, and they can be punished for it. If it's not criminal what they're doing, then they can be punished by their customers being unhappy and not purchasing from them. We're not going to go and smash windows and set fires and do all this stupid, dumb nonsense. That doesn't accomplish anything. In fact, that just said, let's go and loot and riot and destroy stuff that has nothing to do with it as well. In this case, legitimately, It's fine to be angry at Wizards. It's fine to be unhappy. There's a million different places to vent, a million different ways to do it. But backing up and just going, yup, breaking the law is the correct answer in this situation. You know what I mean? That's the deal. That's the deal. Like, I get people taking joy in seeing Wizards get it every way possible. I don't fault them for that. Like, I feel it. I feel the anger. I get it, bro. I've been part of Magic for like 30 years. Their mishandling of the game is genuinely frustrating, like beyond belief. And I want to see improvement. And I am ready to hammer them every way from Sunday. You guys know that. I will do videos hammering them. But if I turn into somebody who just looks for every opportunity to nail them and be on the other side, even when it's in the wrong, it blunts the force of what you're doing. It makes it less effective because you're not the guy who comes with the truth, whatever the truth is. You're the guy who comes out to complain, whatever the truth is. And there's a huge difference. And I get a bunch of people who insist that I'm a purely negative fellow, which is absurdity. Obviously, I haven't seen the shit on Hatchet with me positively enjoying Magic, but it's like, whatever, man. There is a crazy, crazy amount of anger in the Magic community right now that is warranted. Wizards deserves it, but you can't violate the law to stick it to them. And let's be real as well. This guy wasn't doing that to stick it to him. He's not like, I created this to stick it to Wizards. He's doing it for his own enrichment. So are we really, like, are we going to band together and rally and rabble over the fact that some kid wanted to make money, didn't understand the law properly, turns out he can't do it the way he wants to, he got sent just a legal little slap and tickle that will have no effect on his life, he doesn't have a criminal record, it's like he didn't even commit the crime at all, right? It's nothing. And we're going to turn around and freak about it? There's plenty to rage about. How about the clearance in a box, right? How about clearance in a box, friends? That one is egregious, right? So really, if you want to do your proxy stuff, all you have to do is just not put a paywall on it. Not put a paywall on it at all. Don't force people to pay for it. You can literally, as far as I understand, you could have a Ko-Fi or something else like that and go, yo, if you appreciate the work that costs to keep this going or whatever, you can also toss some bucks in as appreciation. Like, there's ways to legally frame it where you can get money and be fine. But you turn it into, you have to pay for this. And now you got to pay for these Magic cards, basically. That's what Wizards does. They're the only ones who get to do that, right? The clearance in a box is still on sale today. Very damning. Fellers, did you not hear about it? Did you not hear about it? It's basically like Wizards of the Coast wants you. They did the festival in a box, right? And the festival in a box was $270. And they went, let's do it again. But let's take out the $30 virtual ticket and replace it with nothing. Let's take out the Sol Ring promo and replace it with nothing. And let's take the two commander decks that were Zendikar. Zendikar. Let's take the two commander decks that were Kamigawa. And we're going to put in a Zendikar Rising and a Kaldheim commander deck. It's a clearance box that they have removed multiple items from, downgraded multiple items in, but did not reduce the price at all. They removed at least $35 to $40 worth of value out of the bundle, kept it at the same price, and downgraded the decks. It's wild. Daniel Shelley says, you're a good dude, bro, and have sound logic. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. And I totally understand your feelings, and I appreciate that you are a reasoned individual as well. It's like, I get where you're coming from. I know the passion. And I ain't happy with Wizards right now. I'm pretty pissed off, honestly. I want to enjoy myself. People come by and are like, bro, I miss the like having fun opening Magic. And I'm like, I'm doing it on my other channel. I'm still doing it. Let's have fun. Like, we're doing it on Hatcher. But I get it. Like, there's just too much negativity around Magic right now, and it's not the player's fault. It's not like there's too much negativity because people are being needlessly negative. There's too much negativity because Wizards has earned it. They've earned it, right? It's just terrible. So I'm not bagging on anybody in this situation. I'm not bagging, like, being a 20-year-old and not knowing how the world works. I've done that. I've done dumb stuff. I've done criminal things for sure. I've been apprehended by the police a number of times in my wild, youthful days, for sure. I've been places I am not supposed to be. I mean, and we got off light, right? Like, we hacksawed our way into a building and started a fire, and we were just given like a trespassing ticket. Now, we weren't trying to start like we were just we were just we were just turning an abandoned building into a clubhouse because we were dumb 20-year-olds. So the fire wasn't like we didn't set the building on fire, but there was a fire. It was contained. We were just getting rid of some rubbish. But regardless, the police showed up, and it was not the local police. It was the full-on like provincial police, and they showed up with dogs and fully automatic weapons and stuff. And it was just like they were pretty disappointed. I could tell they were expecting something way more exciting. So they came in all amped up, and then they were just like, it was crazy. He's got this crazy dog, and he's pointing a freaking automatic weapon at me. And he's like, "Don't move!" And I'm like, I gotta sit down. Like, so I didn't even listen to him. I just walked over to this cement block and like sat down because I was like, "Bro, this is freaking me out too much. If I don't go sit down, I'm gonna fall down." But he didn't do anything. But he did. Like, he told me not to move, and I immediately just started walking away. So I can't point the finger and be like 20-year-old intellectual property, blah blah blah. Because I mean, bro, I've done a lot of dumb stuff. I've been involved in a lot of dumb things, man. It took a long time for me to smarten up. And it doesn't help that I'm a fucking silver-tongued devil and can talk my way out of a lot of situations. So when you can talk your way out of situations, it's a lot harder to learn your lesson by getting punished properly. You know what I mean? I talked my way out of tons of punishments. And so I didn't really improve as a person because I wasn't being given the lesson other than, bro, do whatever you want and talk your way out of it. You know what I mean? Like, you need life to teach you, bro. Life has to smack you in the face and go, "No, stupid, stop." Right? I've had a bunch of those moments too, but so thinking about like the whole IP thing, like he's bemoaning it now, and it's like, yeah, bro, this is a learning moment. It's a tough one, buddy. It's a tough one. I know it sucks because everything felt like it was going so fine, and you just thought, oh, neat, here's just the next step, and like you basically just killed your baby, and it's brutal, just brutal. Forget you take your soldering promo, you won't even be getting them now. They ain't giving them out in the clearance in a box, boys. They ain't giving them out in the clearance in a box. Fellers, yeah, a high charisma roll starting out. I lucked out. I lucked out with high charisma. That's the only reason I can act like I do. You got the things that I say to people will find them delightful. But if other people try and say it, they'll be like, "Oh, what's the matter with you?" You have to know what you're doing. Oh man, I'm hungry. The bacon shrunk right up. Look at how weird and dorky it got. Look at my weird dork bacon. It's like a little fish. Do 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 do. Get in my mouth. Bye, Nathan. Have fun at work, buddy. Bacon, yeah, man. Mark, may you ask me a lore question for breakfast? You sure can, buddy. I appreciate how politely you asked that, so go right ahead. I may not have the answer, but let's see what you got, bro. Doritos turkey for Thanksgiving. Alan, if I could reach through the internet and throttle you right now, I don't know. For some reason, reading that feels hateful. I just feel like that's a hate crime that you've committed in my chat by saying that. Santiago, you said fish bacon, and my brain didn't even remember this for a second. I went, fish bacon? Gross! I was getting angry at you in my mind. I was like, oh, fish bacon? Bro, fuck you! Oh, God. Eric! You always make me laugh and cheer me up. Oh, thanks for telling me that, buddy. That makes me feel really nice. And for the super chat, money makes me feel even nicer. You want to know the details of the third path? Oh, okay. Well, answer's probably going to be a bit disappointing. The third path really just boils down to not Urza or Mishra. Like, in the original story, what happens is the scholars in the Ivory Tower are discussing who they should side with or whatever, and ultimately it's decided that they should remain aloof and they will follow the third path, which is to not get engaged in the war and to seek knowledge and whatever else, right? And try and sustain everything for the world that's coming. That sort of thing. They don't actually talk a lot about it, but in the new Magic set, there is a large presence of the third path, and I think what was supposed to happen with the story but didn't, and this would have been really cool. Now I'll never be able to prove this, but there's enough data points that I can't think of anything else that makes sense. I believe that the story that was supposed to happen is Teferi ends up going back to the time of the Brothers' War. Now, he affects time in one way in that he accelerates the rediscovery of magic. So magic was rediscovered during the time of the Brothers' War. Teferi showing up accelerates that process. So instead of Hercule just having a weak spell, you have Hercule having a much more powerful spell when she does her big spell. You also have constructs that are beefier and more powerful, sleeker, have more magic in them. You have a bunch of different individuals wielding magic in a number of ways. So Teferi physically went back in time. He introduced magic to the world faster, but in a way to try and make things smoother after the Brothers' War, but keep the end result of Urza doing the Silex Blast, becoming a Planeswalker, all of that. That's supposition based on the cards in the set and the digital trailer, because the stories that they have written are what comes last, are easiest to change, and you can throw new ones in. But the animation they paid for, they're not going to do a new animation. So Teferi definitely physically went back in time. There's no question about that. And there's a much higher presence of magic than there was in the previous iteration. So that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like is the actual story that was supposed to happen instead of the story we got. And it adds a lot more to the third path by making it the path of, like, the brothers each represent two sides of the war and they represent artifice using power stones and whatever. But all these other guys are using actual magic. So it's cool, honestly. They really added some extra depth to the Brothers' War world that way. Where do I think Teferi ended up on the beach with the footsteps? It's got to be Zalfir, man. It's got to be Zalfir. And if it is, like, I wish they'd give us the original story. Teferi going back in time to the time of the Brothers' War, and then talking to Urza, doing all this stuff, making things better for the people there at the same time, bringing magic in, and then ending up in Zalfir. Like, he phased Zalfir out so long ago, and it's like one of the biggest defining parts of his character is what he did to save his homeland and damn it at the same time, and his endless quest to bring it back. So him literally being there, his original homeland, is really, really cool, man. Like, that's awesome. That's awesome. You see how I can be like, you're only negative on magic? Nah, bro. I have like a deep and abiding love for magic. It's crazy. Fucking love this game. And the stories and everything, man. It's awesome. Tomorrow I'm gonna be in Toronto, guys. Gonna be in Toronto all day for a meet and greet at the Genesis Days of Beckoning. 80 Cooperage is the address. So anybody who's in the area wants to come by and say hello, I'll be there. On Saturday, yeah, tomorrow. Man, I woke up. Things weren't going so great to begin with at the start of the day, but then it quickly reversed, and now this food has revitalized my spirit. I'm in good spirits now. So yeah, man. I think it's gonna be a fun time. Frosty, yeah, I'm not coming to the States today, buddy. Or anytime soon. One day, perhaps. I didn't turn off the burner, damn. Sometimes I forget and leave the room. I'll leave the room, and I'll forget to turn off the burner, and then I'll come back, like, into the living room, like, smells pretty strongly like bacon in here, like, really strongly, and then I'm like, I've left the burner on. It's just burning fat into the air like a potpourri. Erebus, what's cooking? The cooking's completed. Now it's the consuming. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Mm. So I'm thinking that I might actually, because Fantasy Geographic isn't a Magic the Gathering lore channel, right? It's just predominantly that. But it was never originally envisioned as that. It was envisioned as a place with all kinds of different lore. And I'm actually strongly considering doing a Genesis lore video. There's a bunch of crazy stuff with their story. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Some of the characters are nutty. There's like a I don't know exactly. It's like she's a smoking hot chick who has magical powers after getting in a fight with a witch, and the witch like clawed her eyes out or whatever. So her eyes are gone, but she has like a glamour that hides that, and she can like see the future now or something. And there's another chick who lost her arm, and then a king fused a demon arm onto her. So she's running around with a demon arm, and she's all pissed off about it. There's some funky stuff, man. A bunch of the characters have like nutty origin stories. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. If you guys missed the main part of the story, don't worry. I'll leave the live stream up afterwards. So you can either scrub back and check it out or whatever, but I already talked about the proxy stuff, so it'll be up for viewing afterwards. Mm-mm-mm. It's one of the things about live streams is people all show up at different times, and it's like, welcome in, but I'm not like just a repeating robot of, and this is the emergency line, and today in magic news, happened, you know, that kind of shit. These are streams where I make bacon, sometimes talk about shit that matters, and always talk shit. Mm. 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 Yo, I should take a bunch of tea bags. I should take a bunch of the twinning Earl Grey tea bags I have and like sign them and have write on them, you just got teabagged by Hatcher, the magic historian. What's better? You just got teabagged by the magic historian, or you just got teabagged by Hatcher? And then I'll give them out to people. I'm gonna give those out and My Little Pony decks. I'm going to the Genesis Championship tomorrow. I'm gonna bring My Little Pony pre-cons and give them out, and Earl Grey tea that says you just got teabagged by the magic historian. Because, I mean, that's what you get when you invite me to a fucking event, right? I'm gonna see if I can get the president of the company to on recording say, if you don't like Genesis, go fuck yourself. And I'm gonna put that in my video. I'm gonna see if I can get him to say it, because it's not his style, man. It's not his style. He legit said he was going to poison my bacon in my Discord. And when I said, what the fuck? He sent back a SpongeBob meme with the starfish guy. What's his name? Squid? No, it can't be. He's a squid guy. Whatever. There's a starfish guy. I don't know SpongeBob shit. I don't watch it. It's not for me. So I don't know. But anyways, he sent back a SpongeBob meme. Like, stuff's burning. He's like, like that's the level, right? Sending SpongeBob memes. And I'm going to try and get him to tell people, you don't like Genesis, go fuck yourself. Imagine that. Have you guys ever seen the president of a game company say that? I think it'd be pretty fucking sweet. I'm gonna get him to say it. I'm gonna record and be like, say it. And he's like, I won't say it. And I'll be like, can you say, I won't say fuck everybody who doesn't like Genesis? And then he'd be like, yeah, I'll say that. And I'm like, sweet, I'll just edit off the first part. And whatever he says, I'll just record him and fucking edit it together. I'm gonna make him say whatever I want. I'll be like, do it. You fucking say it, or I'm gonna edit this to make it sound like you like dicks. All right? I'm gonna say you like that. You love all of the dicks, and that's why you created Battle of Genesis, because secretly you love dicks. David J says, please teabag me. I have a sore I have a sore throat. I think you're teabagging up the medicine go down. That's funny. All right, you know what? I'm gonna do the teabag thing. I'm gonna do it. That's funny. I'm gonna take some out so I remember. I'm gonna give people tea from my private reserve. I'm gonna use tea, my favorite tea, from my private reserve. I feel like I work in a Starbucks now. Because look at this. I'm talking about teas. I got a 6-pack. I got a 6-pack of Tazo boxes. I never really get these because Starbucks is so pricey. You know? Starbucks cost a lot. Grave and Earl Grey? Yeah, bro. It's my favorite tea. All my teas are Earl Grey. Well, no, that's not true. I have an English breakfast as well. But that was harder to put back in than I thought. Check it out though. Speaking of teas, man. Look at this. Check out this dope elephant. I got tea in this. It's awesome. Yeah. Aramis says teabag is followed and they willingly accept. It's true. It's a fun little thing. I think, guys, the idea of giving out tea bags that say you've been teabagged by the Magic Historian and a commemorative item and My Little Pony precons, because I have almost a dozen My Little Pony precons, so I'm gonna take those. And when people come up, they'll be like there'll be a couple. I don't know how many people there'll be, but there'll be a couple people who know me, and they'll be like, dude, I'm a fan of yours. I'm like, sweet. I'm gonna give you an inside tip, bro. Fuck Genesis. Don't play Genesis. I'm like, here. And I'm gonna give them a My Little Pony deck. I'm like, what? I'm like, you know what's up, buddy. You know what's up. Clop, clop, motherfucker. Clop, clop. I'm like, here's it. Tell everyone I teabagged you, bro. I'm out. Why the fuck would you invite me as a special guest to anything? Why would you bring a maniac like me to a location like that? I'm just gonna be loud and annoying. But hey, sometimes you don't realize you're inviting the demon in the door, son. I'm gonna have some fun. Stay on the fight. I'm the life of the party. Yep, that's true. That's true. But sometimes it's too much life. Poor Carly woke up and she's just having a rough morning. And then there's me straight up at ready to go full on today. She's just like, I'm hurting right now. Cool. You have to let me know because I'm full tilt. So if you have a headache or anything else, it's like, yep, let me know because I am just like a giant puppy running around having fun. Valerie, do you hope someone records these shenanigans? Somebody's gonna. This guy. I'm bringing my camera. I'm gonna record some stuff. I want to make a video about the event afterwards. I want to do that thing where I put the camera in the side of the window so you guys can see the terrain go by, and I'm all like, oh, look at the trees go by like life goes by. Let's put on some country twangy music. That's not country. Whatever, who cares? You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Right? So yeah. I want to make a video. Will I? Who knows? Who knows? Maybe I'll just come back with some clips. Maybe I'll forget. Maybe I'll be too distracted interacting with people in person because I do like to entertain and I am ridiculous. So put me in a room full of people. I might just be busy goofing around. Namius! You miss wait, no, that's CPAC. You missed the old streams when we had more Carly. Well, I guess fuck you for saying that I'm not good enough. I get it. Carly's cute and sweet, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? It's better for her this way, bro. She used to be like, I'm here doing the stream. She's this far away. Her desk was this far away because we were crammed in one tiny room. Now she gets the barrier of a wall, bro. She gets the barrier of a wall between me and her in the stream. And she sits there with headphones on, listening to stuff. And then when I come out to tell her what happened in the stream, she goes, oh, I know. I heard you through the wall. So you may miss her, but understand that it's way just jorked out. Did it jork out for you guys? I'm used to put on the red wig. No. No. Okay, it seems like the stream just like hiccuped for a second, but it didn't really cause any problems. Well, that's good. It wouldn't have been, I guess, that big a deal if it did anyhow. It's like, does the coloration change on this sometimes? Is it me? Is that my eyes? I am getting old. Maybe it's just my eyes. I don't know. I don't know. I gotta focus up. I'm gonna be teabagging a lot of dudes tomorrow. Valentine, you work from home and are pretty loud too. You want to get in a loudness competition with me? You'll fucking lose, son. I'm never at full loudness. You guys never hear me at full loudness. I rarely ever go to full capacity. It tends to only happen when I'm enraged. But enraged me, it's a sight to behold. I'll put it that way. It's fucking intense. Carlos is like, yeah, I've only seen you like really angry a few times, and it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. Thankfully, it takes a lot to get me like fully full on angry. It doesn't take that much to irritate me. It doesn't take that much to annoy me, whatever else. But to make me like full on rage mode, oh yeah, no, no. And watch the fuck out when you're the person who's responsible for it, because it's always somebody who's responsible for it, and they always fucking hear from me about it real quick, real quick. And it usually starts with them begging for me, hey, can you please just calm down, slow it down a little bit? Yeah, no, motherfucker, listen up. You're gonna fucking hear what I have to say. So I try not to be a rage machine. I try and be fun. I try and have a good time because, yeah, yeah, I've got a creative brain and it can be fun for having a good time, but I also got a creative brain that can be a nightmare, right? I'm a beast of a different breed. All right. Well, I got a lot of shit to do. So thanks for coming and hanging out, my friends. I'm glad we got to do this stream. At this point, I am heading on off out of here. We got mail to open in tonight's stream. We're going to do a wheel stream. Maybe we'll open some stuff up on top of the mail. We'll see what happens. All right. Either way, it's going to be a good time. And again, I will reiterate, I'm going to be at the Genesis Championship tomorrow in Toronto. So if you want to come by and hang out and say hello, please do so. All right. Goodbye, my friends. See you later.